Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. Independent pilots have engaged a previously unseen type of Thargoid vessel in both the Pleiades Nebula and the core systems. Admiral Aidan Tanner, Aegis's chief military liaison, confirmed that the new ship, classified as the Hydra, is a variant of the Thargoid Interceptor. Federal President Zachary Hudson has announced that Aegis Corps is to relocate from Socho to the federal home system of Seoul. The move is a response to the criminal occupation of the Socho system, which led to the temporary immobilization of Aegis's Eagle Eye network, a system of orbital installations designed to determine potential Thargoid attack sites. Engineer Ramtar has detected unusual energy signatures in the NGC 2451A sector, the IC2391 sector and the Sinuefi-NH region. While the precise nature of the signals is unclear, Ramtar has encouraged independent pilots to investigate. In other news, the Colonia Council has announced that 4 engineers have established bases in the Colonia region to provide services to independent pilots. According to a statement, the Council consulted with engineers in the core systems to identify individuals who could offer similar services in Colonia. The date of Princess Aisling Duval's wedding to Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester has passed without comment from either party. While Emperor Arissa and President Hudson are thought to be pleased with the cancellation of the wedding, the silence from Aisling Duval and Jordan Rochester leaves questions about the legitimacy of their relationship unanswered. Maddox Hurd, owner of Herculean Machines, has publicly dismissed the efforts of rival company Supertech. Mr. Hurd denounced the idea of wearable devices as ridiculous, prompting Supertech CEO Scorpio Devoro to describe him as a man of limited imagination. Meanwhile, Alliance President Gibson Kincaid has begun lobbying to invest the position of president with executive powers. He has also said that the incumbent should remain in office for 6 years, instead of a maximum of 2 one-year terms. Prime Minister Redmond Mahone has voiced his opposition to the proposal. Juanita Bishop, a leading campaigner against the Thargoid cult, has announced that she is running for federal Congress. Mrs. Bishop's vocal condemnation of Thargoid worship has gained her a strong following in many federal systems. She is now campaigning to be elected to Congress as an independent candidate. In related news, the Thargoid sect has issued a public request for Thargoid materials. It is understood that the objects will be revered as objects of worship, and will not be used in any xenobiological experiments. Finally, authorities in the Betel system have confirmed that the conflict between Betel Free and the Silver Creative Network has come to an end. Both factions received support from independent combat pilots, to whom generous rewards were promised, but ultimately there could be only one victor. It is hoped that the cessation of hostilities will preface a period of peace. And those are the main stories this week. Alliance President proposes changes. Alliance President Gibson Kincaid has confirmed he will campaign for re-election in October. Addressing the media, President Kincaid also said he wanted to make significant changes to the Alliance Constitution. The role of Alliance President is largely ceremonial. I believe that should change. I have been lobbying to invest the position with executive powers, over and above the Prime Minister and the Assembly. By streamlining our bureaucracy, we can make decisions as efficiently as the other superpowers. I also believe that each presidential incumbent should remain in office for 6 years, instead of a maximum of 2 one-year terms. That will allow time to renegotiate diplomatic relationships and correct past mistakes. Gibson Kincaid was the governor of the Zéonce system before assuming the presidency in 3303. He has repeatedly claimed that the alliance is failing to fulfill its true potential. Prime Minister Redmond Mahone responded, "Our constitution has served us well for decades and I see no reason to amend it. Its system of checks and balances exists to prevent any individual from becoming too powerful and destabilizing the alliance. The other presidential candidates will be announced within the next 2 weeks." Computer designers' rivalry escalates. Maddox Hurd, owner of Herculean Machines, has publicly dismissed the efforts of rival company Supertech. Both companies are currently developing new computer designs. Mr. Hurd referred directly to Supertech's forthcoming product, the Talk, while addressing the media. There's a reason Herculean has never explored the concept of wearable devices. It's a ridiculous idea. I bet $1 million credits that those fragile gizmos will break, or their holograms will start glitching, the moment you turn them on. If you want a reliable piece of tech, you need the Jura drive. Believe me, our device will keep on working whatever you throw at it, and even if you throw it. When invited to comment, Supertech CEO Devorah responded, "It's regrettable that those with a clear vision of the future are often denigrated by individuals of limited imagination. We offer an elegant and revolutionary approach to personal computing, not just a brick with a screen. I'm sure customers will make the intelligent choice." Prototypes for both the Talk and the Jura Drive will be unveiled at the Rackham Ultratech Expo on Wednesday the 3rd of October. Far God Campaign. The Thargoid worshipping sect that reveres an entity known as the Far God has issued a request for Thargoid materials. Chancellor Regan Tanner, speaking on behalf of LHS 2541 Alliance Combine, which is supporting the campaign, released the following statement. To maintain their privacy and avoid further persecution, members of the Far God sect have approached us to facilitate the collection of Thargoid materials. They have made it explicit that these materials will be revered as objects of worship, and will not be used as part of any xenobiological experiments. In the interests of religious freedom, we have decided to fulfill their request. In support of this campaign, LHS 2541 Alliance Combine has placed an open order for various Thargoid materials, and has promised to reward pilots who deliver these goods to Ring in the Zavitra system. The organization has also placed a kill order on all ships on its wanted list, to ensure that those delivering commodities to Wheelock Ring can do so safely. The campaign begins on the 30th of August 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Conflict in Beta Lens. Authorities in the Betel system have confirmed that the conflict between the Silver Creative Network and Betel Free has come to an end. Both factions received support from independent combat pilots, to whom generous rewards were promised, but ultimately there could be only one victor. General Hollis of Betel Security had this to say. Now this feud has been resolved, we will hopefully see a period of prolonged peace in the system. Pilots who participated in the conflict can now collect their rewards from Amphipolis in the Betel system. Juanita Bishop runs for Congress. Juanita Bishop, a leading campaigner against the Far God cult, has announced that she is running for federal Congress. Mrs. Bishop's vocal condemnation of Thargoid worship has gained her a strong following in many federal systems. She is now campaigning to be elected to Congress as an independent candidate. At a rally protesting against the Far God sect, Mrs. Bishop addressed the crowd. "I may lack political experience, but I care about protecting decent families from alien-loving deviants. If you elect me to Congress, I will make sure our leaders rid us of the Thargoid spies undermining our great federation." Dr. Jamila Griffin, of the Galactic Faith Commune made this response. Juanita Bishop is building her power base on the fear and paranoia that she herself has invoked. As has happened before, an innocent religion is being used as a scapegoat for society's ills. We should be more concerned about the fact that Far God chapters are continuing to vanish without trace. If they are under threat, it is our duty to offer protection. These people are not aliens but citizens with legal rights, despite Bishop's efforts to dehumanize them. Aegis Corps relocates to Seoul. In May, a criminal organization known as the Socho Gold Raiders assumed control of the Socho system, headquarters of Aegis Corps. Since then the system has descended further into chaos, culminating in the loss of services at Dantec Enterprise due to Thargoid sensor-related interference. This in turn led to the temporary immobilization of Aegis's Eagle Eye network, a system of orbital installations designed to determine potential Thargoid attack sites. In the wake of this calamity, Federal President Zachary Hudson has announced announced that Aegis Corps is to relocate from Socho to the federal home system of Seoul. In a statement broadcast directly from the White House on Mars, Hudson said, "Recent events in Socho have taught us that no matter the scale of the Thargoid threat, there will always be those more interested in fighting their fellow man than engaging the enemy. Let me be clear, we are at war. The weakening of our defenses cannot be tolerated. I have therefore agreed that Aegis Corps will relocate to the Seoul system, where it can be properly protected. Aegis has been charged with defending humanity, and any attempt to undermine it is nothing less than an act of treason." New Thargoid interceptor encountered. Independent pilots have reported engaging a previously unseen type of Thargoid vessel. The Pilots Federation confirmed that several of its members have encountered the ship in both the Pleiades Nebula and the core systems. Commander Jingsheng Mendez gave this account. "My wingmate and I were both hyperdicted while traveling through the Pleiades. We assumed that together we could handle a single Thargoid ship, but this one really soaked up our firepower. I managed to get away, but Leone didn't make it. I've already started retooling my crate with the X weapons. I want to head back out there and get some payback." Admiral Aidan Tanner, Aegis's chief military liaison, made this statement. "We can confirm that this new ship, classified as the Hydra, is a variant of the Thargoid interceptor. It is structurally stronger than the Cyclops, Basilisk or Medusa, and releases a larger swarm of Thargon drones." In response to this development, the Pilots Federation has sealed off the Cone Sector FNJ B90 system, which is believed to contain high concentrations of Hydra interceptors. Despite this, it is understood that the Gnosis, flagship of the Cannon Interstellar Research Group, will attempt to complete its scheduled jump into the now permit-locked system. The silence of Aisling Duval. The date of Princess Aisling Duval's wedding to Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester has passed without comment from either party. Entertainment journalist Solomon Helios discussed the situation. Public reaction to the cancelled wedding has ranged from outrage to delight. Jasmina Halsey expressed regret at a lost opportunity for long-term peace, while Senator Zemina Torval called it the mercy killing of a catastrophically bad idea. With no word from the Imperial Palace or the White House, it's easy to imagine both Emperor Arissa and President Hudson breathing sighs of relief. But the silence from Aisling Duval and Jordan Rochester rings loudest. What might they be feeling? Was their relationship terminated against their wishes? Did it ever really exist? Naturally, I invited the princess to tell her story, but her previous openness is apparently a thing of the past. The Rochester family is also shying away from the media. Yal Torito, whose alleged affair with Aisling apparently derailed their marriage, has vanished from public sight. Was this a tragic love triangle, or just a political chess game? We may never know. But what's certain is that before long, Aisling Duval will put these failures behind her and be back in the spotlight where she belongs. Unusual energy signatures detected. 3 recently detected energy signatures have been confirmed to of a similar nature. The engineer Amtar made a statement to the media. "As part of my research, I regularly review data from surveillance satellites and ships that have picked up atypical signals. Although most turn out to be of no consequence, on this occasion I have identified 3 energy signatures that I believe warrant further investigation. The signals originate from the NGC 2451A sector, NGC 2391 sector, and the Sinuefi-NH region. I have no further data, and at this time the signature's meaning remains a mystery. I encourage any independent pilots operating in these regions to investigate. I do of course apologize if this turns out to be a pointless exercise, but in the pursuit of scientific knowledge, even the smallest opportunity must be explored." Engineers established in Colonia. The Colonia Council has announced that 4 engineers have established bases in the Colonia region to provide services to independent pilots. Councillor Giselle Kingspear gave a statement to the media. "The Council believes it has a duty to support those who contribute so much to the region's stability. That's why we have consulted with engineers in the core systems to identify individuals who could offer similar services here in Colonia. Consequently, we now have 4 engineers at planetary bases in the region. Mel Brandon is based in Lutane, and specializes in laser-based armaments, shields, engines and frame shift drives. Etienne Dawn in the Lost System, once lead engineer for Kraken Shield Specialists, is an expert on sensors, scanners and high-energy weaponry, among other things. Petra Ulmanova is in the Asurus system, and works with ship armor, countermeasures and explosive weapons, and Marcia Hicks, in the Tier system, offers upgrades in ballistic weaponry, fuel scoops, refineries and limpids. These engineers represent an important stage in Colonia's continued growth. The Council hopes that pilots operating in the region will find them beneficial. Starport Status Update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed. Crown Plant, Mudra Makazi. Crown Terminal, LHS 355. Fort Lawrence, Exioc. Foxbase, Paya. Fraknoi Holdings, Paya. Gautier de Varennes Folly, HIP 13269. Grimwood Ring, HIP 94863. Hague Port, OC. Hendok, Samantundi. Lichtenberg Dock, 3 Corvi. McLeod Hub, Nornan. McAllister Port, HR 6680. Parmid Anno Terminal, Nuturi. Porges Horizons, G25034. Pre-Research Base, HIP 17225. Ross Orbital, Radomir. Sedan Gateway, Monted. Tanner Ring, Sokond. Wang Platform, Paya. The following starports continue to experience technical issues. Weber Dock, Mean. Shaviano Dock, Happers. Thirsk Enterprise, Monted. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure. George Lucas, Leasty. Somerset Station, Icaran A. Napier Station, HIP 94863. Ready Gateway, Korovi. Abeti Platform, Ross 1051. Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. The wedding of Princess Aisling Duval and Ambassador Jordan Rochester has been cancelled. The announcement follows anti-slavery campaigner Jarl Toredo's confession that he and Aisling Duval were romantically involved for several months. Meanwhile, Lakon Spaceways has announced that a new ship, the Alliance Crusader, will go on general sale on Tuesday the 28th of August. The ship, which is based on the Alliance Chieftain, boasts 3 internal military compartments and a fighter bay. Rival technology companies Supertech and Herculean Machines have released press statements promoting new personal computer designs. Both companies have also confirmed they will be at the Rackham Ultratech Expo on Wednesday the 3rd of October, where they will reveal fully functional prototypes of their new devices. In other news, the Federal Intelligence Agency has revealed that members of the Fargod cult are disappearing in large numbers. While the FIA has speculated that adherents are abandoning the cult and attempting to return to normal life, there have been no reports of former Fargod worshippers returning to their friends and families. An expose published by the Mars Tribune has revealed that federal Congressman Morgan Unwin has close ties to a criminal organization. Information uncovered by the Tribune proves that Unwin used his influence to traffic drugs for the Red Family Cartel in order to keep his own addiction secret. Recent reports from the Betel system indicate that an ongoing feud between the Silver Creative Network and Betel 3 has escalated into violence. With system security forces stretched thin, both organizations are seizing the opportunity to settle old grudges, and have issued calls for support. Finally, the Colonia Council has announced that its campaign to build a new hydroponics facility has been warmly received by the galactic community. Large quantities of material were delivered to Templar Barracks over the past week, allowing the initiative to move to the construction phase. And those are the main stories this week. Lakon releases Alliance Crusader. Lakon Spaceways has announced that a new ship, the Alliance Crusader, will soon be available for purchase. Mira Kalanak, head of military projects at Lakon, gave some details to the media. The Alliance Crusader is mechanically similar to the Alliance Chieftain, with one key distinction. Our engineers have removed some internal hardware to accommodate a fighter bay. Inevitably, this means the Crusader is marginally slower and less maneuverable than its siblings, but this is compensated by its ability to ferry fighters into a conflict zone. The Crusader's offensive capabilities are enhanced with 3 internal military compartments. We are confident that the ship will be able to hold its own in any combat situation, especially against the Thargoids. The Alliance Crusader will go on general sale on Tuesday the 28th of August. Computer firms promote new designs. Rival technology companies.
engaged. Orbital flight engaged.
Copy. Mothership is under my control. Standing by for orders. Copy. Holding fire. I can see you on approach, Commander. Ready when you are.
Fighter docking sequence initiated.
Fighter on board. Finalizing retrieval process.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
Gravity warning.
Supertech and Herculean Machines have released press statements promoting new personal computer designs. Scorpio Devorro, CEO of Supertech, told the media about his company's forthcoming product. The talk employs cutting-edge holographic technology, surrounding you in a personalized world. Its hollow interfaces respond to subtle gestures, and its flexible crystalline structure makes it as elegant as jewelry. By comparison, competitors' devices are as rudimentary as pen and paper. Maddox Hurd, owner of Herculean Machines, also made a statement. Fancy holograms might look pretty, but what matters is being able to withstand whatever life throws at you. The Jewel Drive is designed for those who work hard and expect their tools to stand up to the challenge. However tough you think you are, the Jewel Drive is tougher. Both companies have confirmed that they will be at the
Cargo scoop deployed.
Tech Expo on Wednesday the 3rd of October. The technology trade show, sponsored by Rackham Capital Investments, focuses on the personal device market. Both companies aim to have fully functional prototypes ready for the expo. Order restored in Kamichi. Kamichi Incorporated has announced that its campaign
Cargo scoop retracted.
to clear the Kamichi system of felons has been a success. Hundreds of pilots responded to the appeal, taking to their ships to eliminate the criminals operating in the system. Authorities in Kamichi have extended their gratitude to those who participated in the operation. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from gaining port to the Kamichi system.
Cargo is on.
The battle for Betel. Recent reports from the Betel system indicate that an ongoing feud between the Silver Creative Network and the Betel 3 has escalated into violence. General Hollis of Betel Security issued the following
Cargo scoop deployed.
statement. After a lengthy
Cargo scoop retracted.
period of peace, these factions are now determined to wipe one another out. As much as we want to subdue this conflict ourselves, we simply do not have the ships to stage an effective intervention. With system security forces stretched thin, both organizations are seizing the opportunity to settle old grudges and have issued calls for support. Pilots who participate in the conflict will be generously rewarded by their chosen faction. The two factions have set out week-long operations to take control of the system, which will begin on the 23rd August 3304. Colonial Hydroponics Initiative concludes. The Colonial Council has announced that its campaign to build a new hydroponics facility has been warmly received by the galactic community. Large quantities of material were delivered to Templar Barracks over the past week, allowing the initiative to move to the construction phase. The Council's scientific advisor, Professor Diana Van Cleef, gave the following statement. Not only will this new hydroponics facility provide biofoods and super grains for the populace of Colonia, it will also contain a dedicated research laboratory for a science team to develop new biotech crops. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their awards from Templar Barracks in the Randnid system. Congressman's criminal ties exposed. An exclusive expose published by the Mars Tribune has revealed that a member of federal Congress has close ties to a criminal organization. The extensive feature began with this summary. Congressman Morgan Unwin has been in debt to the notorious Red Family. Cartel for nearly a decade.